where are my fucking boxes? Think about the supply chain, you think about a chain. And if one chain is not locked, then everything gets just fucked up. You heard about the situations with the tariff and the madness about everything. Being like a general consumer, you don't fully understand how heavy it is and the longer scale of the impact of this decision. It's gonna be messy.
Imagine I'm a client. I'm like, hi Jessica, my name is Khaled. I want to ship something to Japan. What the fuck do I do?
I would not recommend go for the cheapest, but try to understand who's the specialized. With big enterprises, you don't really have a tailored solution that can support you 24/7. Insurance, do the insurance always when they are not reactive. I think is the biggest red flag ever. Clients want things now, because if it takes 2 weeks and if it's wrong, then you're gonna kill someone. Then the customer is always right. No, fuck no.
Jessica Panigari is a logistics expert and the founder of GOODS2LOAD, a platform where they digitize and centralize freight forwarders, connecting them instantly with businesses worldwide.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's so great to be here.
Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. So Jessica, I always want to give the audience context of how we met. So Jessica and I got connected earlier this year, I think. She joined the Founder Connects community. Shout out to the FC fam. Yeah, Ronnie, yeah. And, you know, so we had, you know, when we're doing the LinkedIn post parties and doing all that kind of stuff, that's how we met. And then we just built a relationship, you know, over the last couple months, and, you know, we just had great chemistry from our first call. And so Jessica, guys, is an expert in logistics and in the freight space. Now, I know fuck all about this space. That's why I wanted to bring Jessica on the show to give like a full masterclass on what is this shit. So for today, I wanted to, Jessica, touch on just almost like literally a masterclass of freight. Like, what is it? How does it work? Because one of the things I've noticed is it's in, like, when I was doing my research, is that it's an industry that affects everyone, but 99% of us probably have no idea how it works or what goes on behind the scenes and so on. And then we want to also, of course, touch on GOODS2LOAD and, you know, the whole journey with you guys and what you guys are launching. But before we get into all of that, Jessica, why don't you give all of us a little bit of background about yourself, and we'll take it from there.
Sure things. Should I watch that, right?
Here.
On,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, here. These don't exist.
Nice. So I started my first wholesale company back in 2020. Wholesale means like selling big containers of items. And at the time it was pharmaceutical, PPI. I was into the COVID tests.
Oh, that around that time.
It was
okay.
COVID.
Yeah,
so that was
great
everything.
Time to get in.
Yeah, great time to be alive. Crazy. But that was the moment that I had the biggest and start of my own business. And let's say that for 3 years, I took care of that, and I expanded my overreach in more than 20 European countries, including China and Turkey, for import-export.
That's awesome.
And I was able to make 8 million euros out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and besides the money, because when you talk about wholesale, mostly is a fraction of cents in terms of earnings, but it's a big volume. But anyways, I was able to serve the top Italian pharmaceutical federations as a key player. And in the meanwhile, of course, I mastered my international market knowledge, which is the most important things, because before that, I absolutely didn't know nothing, nothing, zero. I was an employee for this wonderful design studio based in New York. I was living in New York for some times, and yeah, I became the, let's say, director of the European detachment, and I was managing their own reality in Europe. So, but then everything crashed with COVID, and I was just trying to find ways to stay alive and do things. And yeah, that thing happened to be through connections, and you know what it happens with connections and connection. And meanwhile, I was mastering my international market knowledge and understanding what was happening between the market and the global supply chain itself. I found a massive pain point in logistics between the small and medium freight forwarders and the small medium businesses itself. So the global market opportunity, it was around 200 billions.
Wow.
With the 14% covered by the GCC. So big market.
Did you know that 44% of podcasts stop after episode 3? So that means all that time, energy, and money is just wasted, and you never get to truly see the benefits of podcasting. So if you want your show to stay alive and healthy, you can book a call in the link below, and let's get started today. Okay.
And if you talk about the needs of the small, medium businesses that was growing like crazy starting from the COVID on, it was around 600 billions. So growing digital and fast, because of course everyone was just locked in. Everyone was just trying to find ways, to evolve and stay, floating on the market and stay relevant. But I would say that there was one important factor that to me was quite visible and tangible. There was a 60% readiness in digital adoptions happening in the UAE and KSA that made this environment very attractive for me.
Gotcha.
Because besides, Europe and China being two big market, you need to understand that where we are located now, we are in the pivotal point between those 2 points, but also the biggest importer. And that's what makes strong the supply chain itself. So it's very interesting for some points that are relevant for logistic. But at the same time, I just wanted to understand, okay, so let me see. I had these big opportunities with the logistics system. And at the time, I didn't evolve that smart solution that was the beta version of GOODS2LOAD. So I was just buying logistics service and reselling logistics service as it is, like very simple as that. And I was like, okay, but if I want to create something that I didn't know what it was, that it's simple enough to be used by people that don't possess tech knowledge, but at that point, for example, the guy that was making more than me and was doing around like 20 million, it was with a kindergarten recognition. There was not even like a primary school recognition certificate. It was just a very humble guy, no educations whatsoever, built everything by himself, and he was thriving in logistics and making a lot of money. But the lack of logistic and lack of logistic service for him, it was challenging. But that start for him, and he was one of the many entrepreneurs that didn't have like a very real preparations in terms of university certificate or whatever tech knowledge, It was a huge market there. They couldn't find a way to evolve their business, expand their business abroad. What could I find or use or create or build to bridge between these two realities?
Sure.
So then I spent 1,000 hours when I decided in January 2023 to move here in the UAE to interview freight forwarders. It was nauseating for them, very brilliant for me. I mean, I just enjoyed. I had the best time of my life. They didn't, but for me, like seriously, it was great. So I was just trapping them in Facebook groups, because there's full of Facebook groups, which is one also of the reason why I started like investigating there. They just post like, hey, my company is available for this route. Hey, do you need a transportation solutions by air here? Hey, my truck is available now. Or companies, I need a transportation solution now from UAE to Saudi. Is there anyone that can move 3 pallets? Why they were not using big enterprises? First of all, with big enterprises, you don't really have a tailored solution that can support you 24/7. Then the small and medium freight forwarding companies are very obsessed with their clients because they know what it means to find and retain a client. So it's a matter of staying alive. And so they serve you and they understand you. And they are small enough where their bureaucracy system is not afflicting the entire the solution. So, and the cost is crazy. Because at the time I was using gigantic enterprises like DHL and they were eating all my logistic margins. So if you're a smart business owner, you try to find someone that is not killing you. And these small and medium freight can do that, but they are not digitalized. So the 80% of the freight forwarders worldwide, which belongs to the small, medium size of the market, it's still offline. They do operate with Excel file. They do operate on Telegram, WeChat, Reddit.
Really?
Yeah, Discord, like
Oh.
Facebook groups. I'm subscribed to more than, I don't know, 350 Facebook groups. They just post nonsense all the time. And it's just like so crazy because, I mean, there could be so much going on if this was redirected in a proper channel where people send a request and receive the request properly, and the information itself is just not lost in the internet. And yeah, I mean, these months that I spent reading about the potential of the global supply chain growth, the e-commerce booming that is happening here, new connection interactions between the Indian market, which is massive, and the UAE market, and they are gonna tighten up with the Bahar Mart, which is a huge mart they are building, and it's gonna be ready in a matter of 3 years here. They closed these huge deals with the Prime Minister of India not a long time ago. You need to be ready. You need to understand the needs of those small and medium businesses that don't know how to talk digital, but they would definitely benefit out of it. And what could be a tool that can support the digital expansion of a company? What could be a tool that is not killing the sales department as everyone is scared with AI? Oh, we are not going to have this job anymore because, I don't know, AI is going to fuck up everything. And it's not true. Like, how we can serve better users in both cases to create something that is stronger and bigger. So yeah, I mean, I became, as you can tell, a bit obsessed.
As you need to be as an entrepreneur.
I mean,
sure.
yeah, I do believe that you need to be obsessed.
100%. Yeah.
And was I obsessed about logistics before? No, not at all.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's just like so random, and then it's when you eat your favorite cake and you need to stop yourself before finishing, and I'm just like taking the spoon after spoon after spoon. I'm just so delicious.
Yeah.
And the day after it tastes better, so I'm just obsessed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So it's very, so first of all, very interesting how you went from like a creative, like almost like a creative role or industry, whatever, into something that is very structured, old school numbers, Excel, boring ass shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting how you made that transition from that into that. I can imagine, but you also are you have a technical background. Like you understand, I think.
I do.
You know, you understand technology. So that's why I think that this transition wasn't maybe as challenging as someone, for example, that had maybe that background that you had and entered the logistics space would have had. On the point you mentioned, I wanted to start our conversation today, Jessica, I wanted to set the scene. So when I was doing my research, I didn't realize, there's things but until you go deep and start like actually reading about it and like listening to people who are in the space, you don't get how big an industry is or how it works. So freight is a global industry. And I didn't realize like how, I don't know why it didn't click in my head. I didn't realize how global, and there's a language that everyone has to speak. You got to be able to communicate with people there, people here. And as the end consumer, I would have never looked at freight or that industry unless maybe my product was late. Why is it late? Then I'm going to go and figure out like what's going on. Why are you late?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like this invisible industry that is one of the core industries that makes the whole world economy run. That me as Khaled, as a general consumer, has no idea about. So could you explain to us, I just want to start there, how significant is this industry to the world?
One simple example. So I think talking about the prehistorical times, the first form of moving was the trade. And trade is itself logistic. Is how you logically move one things to another or exchange things. And that makes the movement itself communicate the moving of the goods. Yeah. That can happen from being here to there to whatever. So I would say is probably the oldest type of work ever if you don't connect it to the sales itself, because of course, in order to trade, but this is might include the currency itself. So I'm not 100% sure about that, about the real term, that like the dictionary.
Sure.
But about that, it means that you are interested in having my scarf and you're willing to give me your watch, and therefore we exchange that.
Yeah.
But let's say we are far away. For example, digital platform. Now I don't know if you have it here, but like, what was the name that we had Depop in Italy, and now what we have here is like Vestiaire Collective.
Okay.
You know about that?
No, not familiar.
You can sell your stuff online.
Oh, okay.
Marketplace.
Gotcha.
You see one thing's online and it has a price. But let's say that instead of having a price, it has like an exchanging possibility. Would you do that? Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
If the other things has the same value in your perspective and in the perspective of the one that it's interested in having the item displayed there, that would be part of the exchanging session.
Yeah.
And to make this happen, unless we are close, there's the logistic involved. So that's for the B2B solution. Then if we are talking about any kind of other movement, like moving around is a way for us to, explore. And I still think that this is what happened in the origin of the human nature, like this inner core will to see the world and taking things with us, like small little treasure that made the things, more interesting, or recording what was present in the other places. And therefore there was a moving of goods. So to me, logistic is this way back.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it changed the full, meaning. Let's say I found the treasures like mangoes, I don't know where, and I bring it back home and people are like, oh my God, I just really want that. Buy me a container of mango. And then it happened.
Yeah.
This happened because people are willing to buy that thing. There must be a final desire from a purchaser to make the logistic happen anyways.
Yeah. I feel logistics, like we're listening to, first of all, I never took it back to like, the essence of how it started, but you're right. I never even thought of it from that perspective. Since day one, this is how the world has been the world has been running, how goods moved left and right, how technologies were exported, across the world as well. I always think that but I feel logistics is one of the, how can I put this? When people talk about supply and demand, logistics is literally, that's it. There's a demand for this, I will supply you this. There's a demand for that, I will supply you that. It's one of these, I think it's one of the rare industries that demand and supply is simple and clean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's just, you want this, I'll give you this. You want that, I'll give you that. Or you pay, or whatever the case might be.
I find it very logical.
Yeah, fair.
And I love that. I don't know how I ended up being part of a system that wasn't fully logical, but I was there and dealing with my first experience as an employee in that studio. And yes, of course, we had a lot of like moving, considering that we were designing specific interiors, places for end user, therefore moving things. And I remember exploring, marble caves to find the right marble to build the table for the final user. Like
that's sick. That's really cool.
That was like, I love that studio. I love you.
Shout out.
I love you. And but besides that, I think that everything, even there, was about logistics, because I remember how much we were struggling, and I was already dealing with that because it was me dealing with the logistic for the company.
Oh, so you got logistics experience without really being in logistics. Correct. In a way.
Yes. And I saw the power. Of like making huge mistakes and fuck up everything.
Yeah.
For example, the wrong packaging on a marble table that can melt all the glue on top, and then you have to send it back, and it's lost.
Oh my God.
25,000.
Oh
so yes, but I guess insurance
That's how you get it.
I guess. But no, I mean, it's like, seriously, it's just like everything. And even where we are sitting today, and not only the items that you can see, your microphone and all these beautiful cameras, but even the building itself, like it's construction building, and someone built it because they were moving raw.
Yeah. I think on the on the point you mentioned about things moving, and you talked about the UAE initially, that they were, I think, 60% digitally ready, as you were saying, for them for digital adoption, for logistics and so on. I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you probably have more context. From my understanding, is one of the things that has allowed the UAE to become what it is the ports. You know, like back in the day,
100%.
Instead of opening, I think Sheikh Zayed, he, and by the way, I might be butchering the numbers here, so just, you can double check it. But if I'm not mistaken, the initial idea was to build like 2, and he's like, no, we're building like 12. But that, I know how significant that is. And honestly, now here we are, like 40 years, almost 40, 50 years later, you're seeing the impact and power of that decision today.
Yeah. I mean, just to be very fair, considering it's also one of our partner, but DP World Series is running the 10% of the global moving logistics.
10%? Wow.
And the reason why they are taking over the ports, it's because the goods move through the ports and the duty clearance happened there. You heard about the situations with the tariff and the madness about everything, and how big is impacting all the businesses. Because even there, you know, being like a general consumer, you don't fully understand how heavy it is and the longer scale of the impact of this decision. It's gonna be messy.
Yeah.
Not now. It's gonna be very messy in terms of how much things are gonna cost very soon. So UAE, it's such a beautiful ecosystem because they are doing their best to establish their own identity all over the world, and they are doing in a sector that it's so relevant and important that it's gonna impact the global performance of exchanging goods here and there. Because to exchange, you need to pass from the port. It's like the custom from the airport. If you had that, then it means you have the full power. So,
if you control that, everything has to pass through you. Not only
100%.
Not only do you, obviously, it's a great revenue generating tool for the country. Also, that, you know what I'm saying, and I think geographically, it was a very smart strategic move to invest in like the ports as much as they have, because geographically where we are, and you're in the industry, so you see it now. I can't even, and you said 10% of the world's trade, that's fucking crazy. The amount of volume that must move through here, and it's just increasing. And you mentioned something earlier that it doesn't happen. The problem with logistics, you won't feel it today, but in 3 years, and like for example, now the UAE, the population is expanding, it's growing. So what does that mean? More people, more houses, more equipment, more trade. So you have to start, and I think that's one of the challenges in the industry, is that I have to think maybe 3-5 years out of what I need today.
Of course. And I think that the reason why they are also amplifying this kind of network of trading with India, besides being very close, and one of the first source of trading for the UAE, I read this article, I will double check, but I'm quite sure it's true. The first coin that we're using here in the UAE was the rupee.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah.
And they always had this like deep-rooted connections about trade, because India is such a flourish country. I mean, they have almost everything. And so for them, in creating this Bahart Mart with all the representative small and medium businesses that can improve the exchange and reinforce the market, it's such a big move, as they did with the Dragon Mart. I don't think the Dragon Mart, by the way, was the best version. But you start with one, and the second, it's going to be exceeding the first, as always. Like, they are very good at exceeding themselves.
Yeah.
This is something that I adore, because to me, like, they don't see the other as competitors. They see themselves as their own competitors.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we just need to focus on what we're doing and
Correct.
keep improving what we have and what we're providing
Correct.
and the way we're providing it too.
Yeah.
So I wanted to transition the conversation, Jessica, onto now. This is where the masterclass starts to come in. So I'm going to come to you. Imagine I'm a client. I'm like, hi, Jessica, my name is Khaled. I want to ship something to Japan. What the fuck do I do? Like, what is that process? Like, what are the things I have to think about? What are the costs I have to think about? What are the questions you would be asking me that I would need to consider? You know, I really want you like to take me through this whole A to Z process, because I think it'd be very interesting for people to know this is how shit works and this is how things move.
First of all, if this is the case, you're asking consultancy. And
Okay.
this is something that we can provide with GOODS2LOAD. But besides that, you're not going to be a good candidate for the platform if you need me to follow the full steps.
Okay.
So in that specific case, I would ask you to have an in-person meeting and understand the specific requirement in terms of the product, the quantity, and how the volume is impacting all of your shipping. Because weight and volume, it's what makes the price of the shipping itself.
Okay.
It's not if the weight is huge and the volume is like tiny, then you're going to spend nothing. And vice versa, the volume is like you're shipping, for example, a balloon, and you expect that the balloon floated. It's going to cost like $1 because it's just a balloon and it's not heavy. That's not how it works.
Okay.
Because you're fucking up all the volumes and they have to fit in stuff.
Okay.
So it depends about your own expectation. Are you in an urgency or you're not?
It's urgent for me.
Is it fucking urgent?
It's
Because
very
then
urgent. I need it
prices are
today.
very different. And
That-
when,
Yeah.
I understood that the shades of it's urgent are between 1 and 20.
Or 20.
Yeah.
It goes beyond 10.
How urgent?
Oh, okay, fine. All right. Okay.
Because I can
Okay.
deliver tomorrow, but you're not going to like the price.
Okay.
And I know the price is impacting a lot, unless it's a vital thing.
Okay.
So definitely we need to strategize your own expectations, understand the budget, see if you possess like basic things. For example, do you have a warehouse when you host the goods? You need a door-to-door service, so you need it delivered to your own clients, to your own door, stuck in your warehouse. Do you need the packaging done? Insurance, do the insurance always. It seems like a crazy thing. It's a matter of like $10 to $30. Of course, it's based on proportion, but
Yeah.
like trust me, it's so little, so little
Compared to the risk that you have,
compared
right?
to the list. I know what it means. I lost a container. Very bad idea, because I choose the cheapest one. So even in that case, considering you're an emerging business and you want to talk to me and see how you can strategize your own business expansion or establishment, I would not recommend go for the cheapest, but try to understand who's the specialized. So if you want to start trading batteries, start talking with companies that, by the way, we have, but they are specialized in electronics. So they are aware about a full process in the duty clearance requirement about certifications on lithium batteries. They become dangerous goods and any other things linked together. And therefore, it's not that easy. If you go to the first one without any kind of certification, it means that they are using third party to do your job, which means you have a higher price because there is another middleman.
Yeah, because now I have to pay someone to authenticate what you should have authenticated.
Correct. Someone else is doing their job. Simple as that.
Okay.
So to me, even building realities like GOODS2LOAD, we don't display, first of all, the price comparison system in place, because I don't think is the reason why someone should purchase one service to another. I just put you in direct contact with the sales department. First of all, because the geopolitical tension are impacting the price consistency. So sometimes you can have a price in the morning, but something happening in the afternoon, you don't have that price anymore.
It can change that quick?
It can change.
In that short amount of
And
time?
unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, I never knew that.
Unfortunately, I saw it.
Wow.
So I would just recommend to talk directly to all the sales department of the company that through the filters that you trigger, for example, on GOODS2LOAD can be a best suit for your own specific needs, and find a good strategy to start doing the transportations for you.
Okay. I've never ever thought, this is all very interesting to me. I've never thought if I wanted to ship something, I need a strategy. Okay, I'm not a business that ships things, so maybe that's why I've never thought of that. But I've just never, all the points you were talking about, like the strategy, the expectation, the weight to the volume, what's the price, the insurance, like there's so many things you just said that I would have never even considered. Because, and also what I thought was really interesting is there's specialized people that do, like, for example, like you said, electronics, maybe one guy does tires, oil and gas, you know?
E-commerce.
Yeah.
E-commerce.
And what I thought was interesting, I'm like, what would be specialized about it? Because at the end of the day, you're going to either go by land, air, or sea, and you're going to move this thing to me.
Yes.
But until you talked about that next layer of like certificates, understanding these can go through, these can't, you're going to have a problem with these, whatever.
I tell you, one of the worst things that you don't want to know. So, but it's a tip.
I want to know.
So
Give us all the tip. Yeah.
if you don't have like a certificate packaging of your own materials shipped, the insurance might not cover. So the reason why you do give the goods to someone that is specialized and ask for an official packaging, it's because you're aware and sure that it's been done professionally and the insurance will cover.
Okay, so there's even requirements to be eligible for insurance as well. And I guess, and this kind of brings us on to the codes, the harmonized codes and so on. And isn't that, because correct me if I'm wrong, that's the global wave freight, you know, people kind of speak to each other. It's
Correct.
like that
we do speak with that.
That universal code. But what was interesting and kind of builds on what you were saying, you said that if you mess that up or like you put the wrong code,
done.
It's gonna it's gonna cost you another whole thing to like redo and whatever. So could you walk us through that, like the certification part?
First of all, everything that you see around possess a code, and these 8 digits represent what is the exact entity of that product all over the world. Then each country adds some figures to understand the taxations of import and export.
Okay.
You or XYZ using the wrong code to decodify the identity of the product itself. First, what can happen? The goods are stuck in the duty clearance because there is an inspections. They open the box and the box doesn't result to be the goods that it's been declared on the document that you paid already, by the way. You're not going to pass. And so what it means that your goods are stuck in the warehouse and there is a cost.
Oh,
the duty clearance cost.
I didn't know
yes,
that.
the warehouse is so happy to have your goods there.
Like, yes. Wrong certificate. Come.
And you know, the most horrible experience that I had, it was definitely during COVID. So we were trying to classify this face mask, and it was very hard because it's medical. So it was just another type of shit. So you need someone that can support you on that. I did not have that. So I had to do everything by myself and, go to the ministry and checking the products, see if they were recorded with what kind of HS code, register the HS code on the duty custom clearance declaration. Then it had to go to the inspector, which takes the time that they want to read the documents. And meanwhile, it can take between 1 to 2 weeks with a matter of like $200 to $300 per day.
Wow.
That's why everyone is on a rush. That's why everything it matter.
Yeah.
So in the end, the code was good. I had sometimes clearance in 2 days. I had also 2 weeks. You don't know. You can't really know that. But you want to know that everything is right. Because if it takes 2 weeks and if it's wrong, then you're gonna kill someone
Yeah.
eventually. And I don't want to be myself killing myself.
Yeah.
So, what did I do? Like this. So I mean, you classify your goods. Everything is fine. You present the certification. The certification is fine. It's recognized by all the entities that must recognize that. It can be specifically based on the type of product, like electronics, dangerous goods, and everything has their own metric and system. And then you can take the good, pay the bill, and exit the goods. But it's not very simple. So this is why having someone that is specialized on that, it's gonna help.
Yeah.
The time that they spend inside the warehouse is a matter of connection,
Okay.
if we can say that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, luck also.
It must be such a for such a systematic industry that requires a lot, like in the supply chain there's a lot of different moving steps. It's crazy to me that there's so much at the same time that is out of your control.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
So
said,
true.
in that thing, like you've done everything correctly. Okay, you know it's gonna take 2 weeks. It's been certified, packaged. Da 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 da. What if something happens geopolitically? What if something happens? What if there's a delay with one shipment from a different ship that has nothing to do with like your thing? So contingency must be like the bedrock of this industry. Like having like a million plans. Okay, this happens, we do this. This happens, we do that. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, it does. It's like all a surprise, I remember. But maybe it was a specific thing of the time, and I hope and I 99 sure that it was. But, you know, at the time, the government needed like primary needs material, and they sent some communications to a company like mine at the time. And they say that if in the duty clearance found some containers they were interested in, they would take it. Like, oh, good. Cool.
What?
Yeah, and they eventually paid like after several months, and of course the price was just based on like some metrics. Well, that's another story, but
Yeah.
you know, like me as the tiniest business existence in the world compared to what was happening, because it was around like 40 billion situations happening during COVID in Europe. You can kill me with a container of like 5 to 10,000. If that was the deal. And you can imagine, because maybe you ask some down payments from other clients and you want that to be like fluid as possible. And when there is a need, clients want things now, not in 2 months. Otherwise, they take the money and they go wherever. So starting your own business and having this kind of like situations that can happen anywhere and with any kind of business is challenging, because you need to be capable of thinking outside the box, like how can I make them happy and not fucked up everything. And that's why I think that also in that time specific it would have been amazing to have a good partner
To give you that different context, I guess.
to not smash your own self with a bracket. But then I think it's not easy anyways, like, you know how it is, like having a business is not easy per se. And yeah, I mean, tough times make people not necessarily tougher.
yeah. Sometimes they break you.
Sometimes they just mash.
Yes, yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Yeah, you're just mashed potatoes. And then you just accept it and take it together and rebuild everything from the scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, like, that's why I do believe that realities like you or someone like you that wants to start a business should rely on with someone that it's trusted. And that's the basic, the trust. Because if you think about the supply chain, you think about a chain. And if one chain is not locked, then everything gets just fucked up.
Yeah. That's the crazy part about it, you know, and I think that's one of the most frustrating things, because, like you said, there's only so much you can control. You know, what if that thing broke there, but that's going to delay this, and then it's going to delay that? Like, it's such a, I feel like your industry is it's a very unforgiving industry. And the stakes are very high because it's a lot of money going into me moving this product from here to there so I can sell it to make money for my business. Like it's a whole, the stakes are really high. Like for example, if things go wrong, let's say I'm a freight forwarder, we're working together, okay? And then, okay, I don't know, because then the thing I start to think about next is liability.
Yeah.
Is it, whose fault is it that this didn't get to you on time? Was it a legitimate thing? Because I'm always, because it's an industry that so many things can go wrong, I can tell you, yeah, the guy that was going to deliver it to me first to send to you, he was late, which could be complete, bullshit, So where does liability fit into this piece? Because I know there's, as the goods move across different stages, there's I think EOB, FOB, like I have no idea what the fuck any of these mean. So if you could tell me like what those definitions are
Those
of how
are
things
the
move.
expenses on top of regarding the shipping, and we're talking about the Incoterm, but that doesn't necessarily give the fault to any of the part involved. I would say that what happened in logistics is more complex, and the reason why not new anymore, but tracking system happened to be there because of that.
Okay.
Like, where are my fucking boxes? And you are like, yeah, but Tony from XYZ was having a cigarette, and then he was just like, and then, which can be, maybe someone is just like losing that fraction of seconds and it switch the turn and the box goes there and it's delayed and it missed the day. It's like this delicate.
Oh, there's also like it's like booking a plane ticket almost, but for a box in a way.
Yeah. In a way, you know what? Like the reason why I think people also rely on enterprises, first of all, is the name. Second of all, they have more digital tools to allow you to track the shipping itself, which gives you a little bit of peace, because when you're an entrepreneur, you lack sleep.
Yeah.
You want to know
when this is coming, how it's coming,
and also it's a matter of like satisfying the final clients, because you might have your final clients, so the ETA, the estimate times of arrival, is everything for you. I leave that multiple times. I was waiting for the goods to be delivered with like 40 tons trucks, and they were with GPS, and once they were about to be there, I would call the clients and load everything, and the final clients would arrive and pick up everything in a matter of seconds and leave. So it's important. Like, it is really important. What I would say is that it's not that easy, considering that the enterprises are so little and the small and medium freight forwarding companies are more than the 80%. And these guys are not really... I would not say that they are not happy about digitalizations. They see making millions with Excel file. They are cool with that. At the same time, they don't understand that everything will become digital anyways, if they want or not. And, I think that when they switch from analog to digital, they taste it and they like it. But at the same time, it's such an old school job that it's been done since always. And it seems that forever it will be like that, which is not. And I will add my own personal point.
Please.
I do think that enterprises are fine without having them being fully digitalized. It's a double face of the coin. It's a pain because they can't fully manage them. They can't fully integrate them. At the same time, less competitors.
Fair.
Because you saw like now DVS joined with DB Schenker, if I'm not wrong, and they become like really big. In terms of annual, I think that now they're bigger probably than DHL, but no one knows.
Oh, wow.
That's what I read like lately. But that was just a huge joint. There are other companies that are amazing, like Siva Logistics. They started from zero, but those who believes in digitalization. there are huge guys here that I'm trying to convert to digitalizations in like small little things. But still, like it's not the easiest things ever. And besides them understanding the full process and the pain, it takes time.
It does. And especially, sorry to interrupt you, Jessica, but the point you made is very important because you're trying to change how something's always been looked at and done. It's very hard, and it takes a lot of time and convincing you. Like you said, even if they taste it, I might need to taste it like 10 times until I'm convinced, And I think that is one of the struggles with the industry, because now obviously now AI's come in and like tech tools are all over the place. So it's almost like now if you're in freight, you don't have a choice. If you don't adopt tech and AI, you're fucked. That's it. You won't be here and not very long either, based on what people are saying about AI and how fast it's moving. In 5 years, you might not have a company, bro.
But also like new entrepreneurs, they work all on digital. If they don't know you exist, why they would rely on you?
Also very true.
Like, it's so ridiculous. And I'm not telling you, like, invest, 50 million in AI because you are, woo. But, bro, like, you can do little and have a lot. So why would you not? I just don't get it. Like, I partially get it, but still don't fully get it.
Yeah, because the return, the ROI on this small thing could be exponential. Yeah. And what I've realized in our conversation so far is, in your industry, is time is money was made for logistics. Like that saying must have come out of that industry. Now, now honestly, now that I think about it, because I know, for example, like when there's delays at ports and, things happen, for example, there's like traffic jams or people are taking long to unload. So I want to understand, and like you said, it's a chain. This is the problem, because even if we're running perfect on time to our clients, they're tracked, everything, certificate, I got you, bro, done. And then I get to the port and some asshole in front of me, or like two assholes in front of me, are taking either time to get unload, or like there's something here. I get fucked, the guy behind me gets fucked, the guy behind him gets fucked. So how do you, it's all about time. It really comes down, and you said it earlier, like that half a second the box went left instead of went right. Now the whole thing's fucked. So how should you be managing your time? Because you have to take a lot of risk on board. I struggle to think like how you approach that.
Yeah, myself, I would not tell you the bullshit like organize and strategize everything since the beginning, because it's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. You're so bright.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
Why I haven't thought about that? I would say just find a way to have the resources close to you as soon as possible, because most of the time, the transportation itself that takes to have the lowest cost in China, you can get that with the transportation solutions. Yes, it's gonna beat the price. Yes, your competitor are gonna be fucked. Yes, but the client are willing to wait. Are you 100% sure? Or you can reevaluate your own margin, keep the client now, and see how the product can be requested again and again and again in the terms of time, and if needed, do a little bit of stock of that, if this is the goal.
Okay.
So I see it as trading. Like, you don't really trade once and oh my God, I did, 3 billion, I'm so rich. There are moments that you go down. So the fluctuations of the market, it's going to impact itself, the price of the product and your own expectations in terms of return of the investment. Because there are multiple things. It's not the product itself, it's the shipping cost, it's the storage, the time that you'd dedicate because you're using your own time. Is like, on a long run, if I want as per goal to have this client, what's the quickest way I can serve it? Logistic is always there. But if the product is close to, I don't know, for myself in some previous experience, I was in Italy, the closest one was in Germany. I was renting a truck and go there and pick it up. Because DHL was just failing, because Bartolini was like, oh my God. No. And then like billion things were happening. I was like, you guys, like, so what I was just doing, renting trucks and then go back and forth and satisfy my clients. Yes, it's sustainable, not no. But if you can build your own liquidity to buy a bit of stock in case this is a repetitive product and you can understand it's a repetitive product, then you're going to be able somehow to strategize your own acquisition process, including the full supply chain stream.
Okay.
Yes, I want the goods in China because probably, I don't know, in Guangzhou is 1 cent instead of €1.5. But if I can sell it at 1.7 and haven't returned the client, why not?
Yeah. And it's interesting how you describe this. So I have to think about, it's not just about the cost of the product, it's the shipping cost, it's the insurance, it's the whatever import thing you have to pay there. The thing I start to think about is, okay, because you touched on containers earlier in the conversation. I know what a container looks like. That I know. Anything else about it, I have no idea. Like, how do you decide what goes in it? How do you decide what the cost is? How do you decide what the shipping, like, so I came to you, I'm like, I want to send a container. How does this work?
You don't really decide a container. You just decide how much goods you need and they give it to you.
Oh, okay. So I need to send...
This fit 40 feet. Like you need 26 pallets of, I don't know, watches. They do the measurement in terms of like the dimension of the goods that you give them, the weight, the volume occupation. This is going to be a 40-feet container.
Oh, so it's...
Then you buy a container.
Oh, so
you don't buy the container, it's the space in the container.
Okay. Because I thought like, I'm buying this container and I can fill it with whatever I want.
Unless you want a container of 40 feet, 20 feet, you know the dimension, and you want to put everything that fit there, you can do that too.
Okay.
You can do that both.
Okay.
But I would recommend the opposite, unless you are just like in the need of something and you know that you are not on a rush. It's like you don't strategize the quantity of the product that you need. You just want it all.
Okay, so it's interesting that it's so depending on whatever I want to send the volume, and then they'll give me either you need a whole container, we're gonna give you this part of the container, that's how
it's called LCL, less than container.
Less than container.
LCL, less than container load, full container load.
Oh, see, these are all new terms as well.
Yeah.
So I get the container. Who sets the price of the container? Is it the shipping company, like the actual company that has the ship?
There are multiple people involved on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're gonna
like to judge how much you're gonna sell it to me.
Correct. Because you're taking the space on the ship first, if it's happening by sea.
Okay.
So you're taking on a space on a ship that it's managed by the brokers. And you're taking the spot inside the container as well. The price is going to be made based on the estimates per year. So what's the price of these transportations, these routes in specific?
Oh, there's different prices for different routes too. Well, I guess, that makes a lot of sense, just like air travel. But I don't know why on the sea, because it's just like there, I'm like, well, it's all the same.
Even geopolitical tension are making things, like I'll make an example. So, the situations that happen in the Canal of Suez. Now it's better, but ships were not allowed to go there. So let's say from UAE to the port of Genoa in Italy, usually it took 14 days. Now with this situation, now maybe it's better, but it was around like 47 to 50.
Wow.
There was a moment at the beginning of the year where the price of the ship, which was supposed to be the cheapest, it's always have been the cheapest, by the way.
Okay.
Was reaching and overpassing the cost of air.
Wow.
And there are some items that can't be shipped by air. So people were not happy. And this is how logistics is impacting the global economy.
Yeah.
Things become more accessible or not, and the cost of things fluctuates. I mean, it's very, very, very tricky. You know that Trump made a fun statement with the canal of what? Mexico, Mexico is now America.
Yeah. Sure,
So
yeah.
what?
Yeah, as you like, bro.
You bro.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, nice. Yeah, wow,
Yeah, but,
great
I
thing.
mean, besides all the basic
Yeah.
things that he has in his mind as priority and value, but it's
Yeah.
also because logistics and how much he can make.
Yeah.
And much
Fair.
he spent and how much he
How
can
much
make.
you can make, of course. And so have you brought up the Suez Canal incident? Because now, obviously, with everything that's happened over the last few months in the region, the whole news, all I saw in the news was the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. 25% of the world's oil, like if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me on the numbers, goes through there, whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, you've just told me now routes are important. I'm like, okay, like the Suez Canal example went from 14 days to 45 days. I'm like, okay, so the thing I was surprised, I'm like, why is this area of water, why is this like all over the news? This is what I didn't get, and I don't know, and again, I don't know these things. So I'm like, okay, and they always kept talking about oil.
Yeah.
And because of the oil, it's very important, and it's a quarter of the world, whatever. So that if this happens, oil prices will go, and then the world's gonna get fucked. It seems like if the oil goes bad, the world gets fucked. That's what it seems to be.
So
I don't get why that was so important. Like
so
that, maybe you can
first of
explain
all-
it to me. Yeah.
First of all, there are some reserve of oil not far away from the coastal side there,
Okay.
and they're very important in
Okay.
terms of quantity.
Okay.
So of course they want the power there.
Okay.
And not only is a strategical point within an ecosystem that it's been quite tight, because I would say that the Middle East has always been the Middle East, and GCC countries are quite GCC countries. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Not like between you guys, like you're just like doing your own stuff. And it saves a lot of time for everyone. Like Africa is the richest country. People want to trade with them. And like circumnavigating continents in order to reach spots, it takes time, and times is money. And the consumption of the gas and oil that it takes for a ship to move back and forth
Oh yeah, never
is
thought of
another
that.
thing.
Yeah, I didn't consider that. Yeah.
So strategically using these canals to reach all the corner of the world is a way to save time, money, consumption in terms of oil, which also is a source that it's not gonna last. But it's really about how they can obtain whatever they want in the shorter times possible. And they ended up being in one of the most strategic point in the world. I don't really, besides religious purposes and books and whatever, but I think it's just like very strategic.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I never.
If you look at the map, it's clear.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, like,
You see it.
oh guys, I'm sorry, but I mean, thanks God I'm here, because if I was there, that would be so fucked up.
Yeah. Because if you have, and I guess I never considered the the oil and fuel you'd have to burn to move oil around at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like defeating the whole purpose. Like I'm making this thing, but now I have to spend more of what I just made to just get it somewhere and to make
Yeah.
use of it. So okay, it makes
This is the
sense.
exact reason why they are diversifying from the oil and gas earnings.
Yeah, because if you just tie to that, you're kind of stuck, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that cannot be the first resource for you. And definitely there are new, substances and chemicals that have been found in Africa as well. I mean, those are always the places where people find a lot of interest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I unfortunately for them, they just ended up being so interesting
Yeah.
for several reasons.
Well, where there's oil, people always seem to want to go there and
Yeah.
have a discussion. I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. I wanted to come on to goods to load. So listening to your story was really funny. So that if back in what was it, I think Feb 2022, that aha moment in the middle of the night that like
Oh, yeah.
this is. I can connect this with this, and I found the bridge. And I think everything you've been talking about today is building bridges, which is basically what logistics really is.
God.
And you said that the problem, as you've mentioned in the conversation, the bigger guys have so much volume and quantity. They have like 40, 50 people teams just managing, like moving. They need that many people just to move this amount of goods across, and the SME market wasn't being catered to, and that makes up like 80% of businesses in the world are SMEs.
Yeah.
So, and you touched on like the resistance though to like adoption at the same time, because it's an old school industry. So from your perspective, how are these new tools like GOODS2LOAD and whatever gonna advance the industry? And I guess, where do you still see the biggest challenge in the adoption of these tools being? Is it purely the mindset, or there's other factors that they're considering that are maybe taking them away from that need?
Listen, I've been struggling about that, because considering I'm on a half, we launch on January 2025. Publicly.
Yeah.
Starting onboarding freight forwarding company. We have 17 so far. The 2 partnership that I told you.
And you guys are a marketplace, right? It's you're the connector between freight forwarders and me as a consumer.
Correct, and we are for free.
Yeah.
So you can come to the platform and find the most suitable freight company that can support your business establishment or expansion all over the world for free. For the freight forwarders, of course, there is an onboarding fee, which is between $699 per 12 month, for $199 per 6 months, or white labeling. So we offer their own service and we take fee from the transactions.
Fair.
If they don't feel that wants to be part of the platform in that way, but they lose the identity.
Which is
the full purpose of the business. But, we need to retain somehow and find strategy to keep that doing, and anyway, convince them and convert them. I would say the biggest traction, I would analyze both. So from the user side, there is a lot of interest, but even if there are like easy tools, they're still stuck in the, okay, but maybe realities like brand like DHLs or FedEx like this will help me the most. And so they rely on something they heard because they are kind of scared. And I think that when you're scared, it's because you lack in knowledge. So it's the education that it's missing there. I think this is my observation. Okay?
I as a general consumer, I would agree with you, because I would typically go to one of the big boys, because if I wanted to use someone else, I wouldn't even know where to look, who
Correct.
to trust, and what would, because you said also that what your platform does is, it's not just about getting you the best price. It's about getting you quality combined with performance. And
Correct.
obviously the price is the thing there. So for me, as someone who's not educated on the space, I'm always going to go there, because I wouldn't even know where to look or what are the like red flags, and be like, okay, that's not someone I should use, and maybe I should use someone else.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is why we introduce this, for example, for that specific purpose, but it's also like a soft market that we are trying to understand, because it's very also emotional in the user side. So it's just very different from the logic of the freight. And we built this identikit page. So every time the freight forwarder onboard themselves on the platform, they automatically generate the identikit page where you can clearly click on the logo and see the about us, the mission, the geographical coverage, the type of transportations they offer between air, sea, and road, because maybe they just offer air or whatever. The type of industry that they are specialized. So you want to start your own skincare, line, and you want to work with someone that is capable of offering you that specific type of service. Hashtags to rank for the SEO strategy that we have in place. And we added a YouTube interview for the founder. So you're going to have a possibility to hear who is the founder of the company and what's the founder doing, what's the vision of the founder, why he started everything, do you like him as a person or not? And Google business reviews are in real time under that. You can read it.
Okay.
And all the certifications are displayed. So is this guy seriously certified, or, I'm certified in love? but no shit. Like, give me the certificate. Show me that. So you're gonna find everything there. And I think it's something that we are trying to do our best to attract that traffic, besides all the search engine optimizations and scrapping of the market in each kind of like platform. For the freight, of course, I see some friction because we are now transforming from the free trial to the payment. Multiple reasons for sure. So one of the things that not upset me, but kind of upset me the most, was that apparently, as per culture in Asia, no is not accepted. Okay. They told me so. When myself, I'm very direct. Like, if you tell me yes, it's yes. If you tell me no, we are friends as before. Never had any kind of issues on that. But apparently people take it longer to just like not really put a point. So you ended up putting a point, which is very confusional for me. So you need to find also different ways to communicate with different cultures, which, you know, I was always used to speak with cultures belonging to the European market. And I think that, you know, funding myself with my own feet, my own boots in the war zone helped me to understand what was the requests and expectations of the service. Then we delivered 200,000 visitors in this month and growing. And that certifies, as I said, like we are cooperating with Google's on platform. So they're giving us like nice credits.
Shout out Google, but if you want to sponsor the podcast, we won't say no.
So thanks God, because, you know, like the more data you generate, the more money you have to spend, and they are very supportive with small and medium businesses. I'm really blessed with that. But besides that, I see that they see the potential. They saw that we reverted 467 leads, which means, considering we are a tool that supports their freight sale department, it's a percentage on top.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, exactly. That we did to maximize the performance of the sales. And I think it's important because, you know, an average salary for salespeople here is between 2.5 thousand dirham and 5.5 thousand.
And it's more commission based.
And it's more commissions based or reaching a budget base. And if we can help you to reach the budget, you know, did it happen to you in your life that you missed like 2 points to reach that?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. I was second last week, I told you, in the competition.
Yeah.
I was mad.
Because
I'm very competitive.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I don't know why I'm not a sportive person in a way, like an athlete, because I'm just going to kill people. But you know, like you want to be that.
Yeah, I want to fucking win.
Yeah, you want to win. I'm not here to play. And I think that this is a tool for people that are really ambitious and they want to play hard.
Yeah.
And if I can support with that budget, then I'm here for you. But I don't know why sometimes like people don't fully get this. It's because I think digitalization itself. Because in terms of money, it's like 2 shawarma.
Yeah.
Like, chill.
Yeah, true.
I'm not asking you an organ. If you have one to sell to invest in my company. But I mean, no, you know, like it's just, it takes time because we are really changing things.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. Otherwise, if it was too simple, you were just like, why is it so simple?
Yeah. But I think, like listening, again, I'm not in the industry, but listening to everything we've talked about today and the problem that you're solving, I think you help so many different verticals at the same time. You know, you're helping the sales guy hit his budget. You're helping me as a consumer. You've done a lot of the vetting for me, and then now it's up to me to like pick, you know, whatever, because I'm sure you're not gonna have anyone on the platform that are not good or assholes or whatever the case might be. So if you're ready, as a consumer, you've already taken off a headache off my hands. As a freight forwarder, now I have more people that might want to use my service. So everyone's winning. Do you get what I'm saying? Like everyone in this ecosystem is winning. And to do paid, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm helping you this much, you should pay for it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And anyone, as an entrepreneur, we're going to get into that in a second. Everyone, and look, to be fair, we are also people, so it's not like, we are unique and we don't do this. But everyone, and I think you just feel it more as an entrepreneur when you're starting, everyone, I want a pie for like 1 dirham. You know? You know what I'm saying? Or I want a pie, I'm not going to pay you anything. You know? But at the beginning, you have to... here's the pie. Okay. But then you get to a point when you have like a platform like yours, you've built the credibility in the space, you've got great partnerships. Now it's like, you want this pie? Fuck you, you're going to pay for this fucking pie. You're going to pay for this pie, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Before we jump into the entrepreneurship, section of the conversation and just round this off for today, I think what would be helpful is to talk about red flags. Freight for me as a consumer, I think it's probably more relevant to a consumer than a freight forwarder. What if I came to him like, Jessica, I'm considering working with these guys or sending with these guys. What are the red flags I should look out for? Because I think that would be very helpful for people.
Yeah, absolutely. When they are not reactive, I think is the biggest red flag ever.
Like in terms of communication?
Communication, because when you're in a rush, I think that the job of the freight forwarding company is to ensure you that it's a smooth process.
Okay.
And if I am not able to do that, then it means that I'm not able to do my job. Because I'm giving you a service. To me, giving a service is how you serve people. That's it. Then the customer is always right? No, fuck no.
Yeah, fuck no.
Fuck no. But there is no way that if a person send me an email about their own shipping, I disappear for X hours. You're not Elon Musk. I'm not Jeff Bezos. I think we have time. We do have a cell phone. So just don't act like someone you're not. Ridiculous. And it's still related to the time. Like if you see that someone is not respecting your time at first, leave it. This is why I think it's important, for example, in my platform, and I use it as a metric, and I cannot tell now, but time for me is everything. We're going to discuss about that when I will have the investment. But I love the idea of having the sales email immediately there because I save the time I don't have. And if someone is answering late, not for me. Besides that, listen, I read the reviews. I'm a person that leaves a lot of reviews, and not for the sake of like damaging people, but just to describe like very logically in point what happened. And I think it's really important to give to have an idea about like how did they dealt with previous businesses. Because I read some reviews of like freight partners that wanted to be part of our platform. I say no to 3, to be fair. And I wasn't in a economical position to say no, but I think it would damage myself more. And
I respect that a lot.
In the reviews, there were multiple people saying I had my goods stuck in the duty clearance and they just disappear. Bro. This was you. And that was me. No. So personally, I just try my best also to understand. I mean, I know that when we will bloom, probably will be more tougher, but there will be more me that will check that. Yeah. And I want that precision. I pretend precision because what I'm telling you is that I don't know enough to do it by myself. Otherwise, I would do it. That's what entrepreneur does.
Yeah.
So if I'm deploying my request to you, it means that you must be the one that is capable of dealing with that.
Yeah.
So time and precision, but mostly they are really connected because if you're precise, you don't waste each other's time.
Also true. Also very true. And I like that I think communication is a great easy metric for people to judge, People respond, and I've had this issue too. So I've had, recently started hiring people, editors, for my podcast, whatever, just for like the intros and stuff. And I wonder if you'll ever watch this. So I worked with one guy, I won't say his name, and first episode was great, but the second was, and what made me cut him off completely was the reason he gave was not only was what you gave me bad, what you sent me, because when I sent him like, this is shit, he's like, yeah, I know, because the last conversation, it was much more the catchier content, whatever. I'm like, woo, I'm like, woo. I watch and follow the best podcasters in the world. Not everyone, no matter how good you are as a host, not everyone's a great guest. Mm-hmm. And somehow their intros are out of this world. So don't, I stopped working with him immediately. Yeah. He's still trying to work with me. And if you watch this, bro, this is the fucking reason why. Get your shit together. Yeah. Ridiculous. So I'm like, I went back to my graphic designer, that he did my whole rebrand for me. Someone I love to work with, did amazing work. And the reason I say all this is communication. It was always, how can I help you? How can I make this better? Is this good? Is this bad? What do you want? So I messaged him. I'm like, do you do this? He's like, no. Like, yes and no. I'm like, okay. And I sent him like some samples. He's like, that I can probably do. Mm-hmm. And although like I've spent hours with him, I'm training him. And I like working with him. And he's responsive, he's communicative, delivers everything on time. So again, it comes to that. It's because, like you said, it's a service-based business. Yeah. We're in service. This is a service. Yeah. That guy, because he's served me in the best way, is the reason I went back to him. And now he got more business from me. And I think this is the thing that a lot of people don't take into account. Yeah. Coming into the entrepreneurship piece that we were talking of before we got started, which, by the way, guys, we had a whole 45-minute conversation before we even started recording, which was awesome. But that's just for us. Sorry. And we were talking about how you can have the best thing in the world, the best service, the best product. If you can't communicate it effectively, what it does, and not only that, what's in it for my client, what's in it for the end consumer, I think is one of the mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make. But I also respect that you went about doing this in the right way, by the way, because a lot of people, I've had conversations, even Herman, when he was on the podcast, was saying this, is like, everyone does the research part after they start. Everyone's like, you start the business, and then 2 years later, they're like, what do I have? What is it?
Oh, it wasn't needed.
Yeah, exactly. But you came and you interviewed 200 people to understand, this is exactly what the problem is. Yeah. This is what the issue is, which is one of the reasons I think the platform you've built is so great, because it's built based on what everyone told you. This is our problem. Help us fix it. You're like, all right, I'm going to build this to help you fix it. Now, on the entrepreneurship side, as we talked, we talked about, the mental health aspect. We talked about the challenge. And my biggest frustration in the entrepreneurship journey so far, Jessica, has been, everyone tells me, Zakhad, what's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? Now, in my head, I have a plan. But if you tell me what that plan is, and not tell you what the plan is, how are you going to get there? I can't tell you. Because the plan I had yesterday, now I had this conversation with Jessica, now the plan, she gave me new information, now it's a brand new plan. So, and that for me, the constant, like you were saying before, like the change. I'm like, for fuck's sake, can I just have some consistency for a while before I change? Yeah, clearly not, so yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I mean, I think the beauty of being an entrepreneur of this kind is that you don't feel entitled, first of all, because I hate it. Like, I met a lot of guys that are like, oh yeah, I'm like, good for you, like, good. But staying open and permeable, like, let yourself be influenced by things that can enrich your own point of view. Like, I think that it's so important. Like, when you're serving others, when you are actually in a positions where you're building something for others and not yourself, it means that you have to listen, that you like it or not, you need to be there and see what you can do with that. You know, like with all these guys, I'm not kidding. Like I interview more than 200 freight forwarders. These guys didn't have the fucking clue what they want. But they were like, oh no, this is not good. You know, platform display prices because they can get the business. They lower the price on purpose. And then when they close the deal with the, I don't know, they hire the price here and there. And because you're ignorant, you're not going to know. And I was like, true, saw it. I don't want to create a platform where people feel fucked. I don't want to create a platform with the price comparison system in place, because what's price telling me? It's not that the meat costs 2,000, then it's gonna be better than my grandma meat anyway.
Can't touch none nuts. Come on, yeah.
I just want that product. I want this unicity. I want these things that stay. Yeah. I want these things that taste home. Yeah. I want people to feel safe. And I think that you need to invest a lot of time in doing something and do as much as you can, all the research that you can, in order to create a service that is unique. And by the way, 2 weeks ago, I was attending this, TV show. They invited me to Final Pitch, and one of the angel investors.
You went on Final Pitch.
It's gonna be on OSN. By the way.
Oh, sick! No way, because I saw that I saw all over LinkedIn and stuff.
Can't say anything.
Yeah, no questions about that. But congrats, that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. But let's say I felt off guard when a lady asked me, an angel investor asked me, but what's your unique point? And I think I answered not as I should, because in the end, like, again, if we reconnect about the self-love and what we do, it's all an extension of yourself. So the more we acknowledge the added value that we can give to the current society, considering everything that it's happening, that it's disgusting, and listening to the others and do something with that, I think that we can really do something good.
Yeah.
Besides being logistic, because sometimes I just feel stupid, like people are dying and I'm doing this. Like, what's the whole point?
Yeah, I understand that. And the point you made about with like using the Final Pitch example of, sometimes you get asked questions, and we were talking about this earlier. I think as an entrepreneur, it takes time for your USP to become clear in your head.
Yeah.
Not just that, it takes time to learn how to communicate it. Like for this podcast, I've mentioned this before on the show. For years, people would ask me, I'm like, yeah, I have my own podcast. They're like, oh, what's it about? Yeah, it's about like learning, and I want people like me to improve and whatever. But like, I would remember, we would walk away from the conversation, me and a random person. I know that because I can see it in your face, it didn't land with you. You didn't really get it, and I don't think I said it right either.
Yeah, so true.
So it takes time. So it's okay. It's reps, it's practice. You learn things. So I resonate with that a lot. And the point you mentioned, and this, I had a guest on my show recently, and we were talking. He's a marketing guy, and I was like, I see all the bullshit that's going on, especially on YouTube, because I worked with a coach for a while, so I understand the platform. I know who's buying, I know what you're doing, I know who's boosting, I know all that. And I've always looked at it very negatively. And I told him, I have a very biased view of this. I think it's if I'm boosting to get that out there, then I didn't earn it. That's what happens in Khalid's brain. But the way he framed it was like, okay, I'm not telling you to get like buy subscribers or followers. No, but he's like, you can run different ads, just to and you just have like promoting the video on YouTube. If someone wants to click, they'll click. If they don't want to click, they won't click. I'm like, okay, but why? He's like, you're trying to add value, right? I'm like, yes. He's like, if this could help get more like our episode, for example, in front of more eyes, and people, let's say, that are in freight. Wouldn't you be adding now more value to more people, which would then, have a ripple effect that could network and, build that and so on?
That's beautiful.
So when you were talking about value, it triggered that for me, because I've never looked at it in that way. And I think this is the disconnect we have as I'm just speaking maybe from my experience. Maybe other people look at it differently. But as an entrepreneur, I only until recently started thinking, I'm like, oh, I have this business I'm trying to build. I'm like, no, I have value. I know I have value for this specific problem. There's a lot of value I can bring. So I should be taking that and walking in with big dick energy because I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Agree,
yeah, you know,
by
so
the way.
yeah, but it took a while to get there.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I didn't as well. Like I didn't even know I was a sales tool. To be fair, I am a cloud-based SaaS solution. What do you do?
Yeah.
Because in the end, you need to look at the simple is, the more you get it. And then when I got it, I was like, what? I created it?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. It's hard, bro. It's hard. No,
I was
man.
like, yeah, I'm happy now. I know, it makes sense. I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Jessica, I just wanted to round off our conversation today. I have 2 questions. These are questions I ask all my guests. So looking back at your life, personally or professionally, when I ask you the question, what are you most proud of for yourself? What would you say?
Oh, yeah. I'm so proud of the person that I am today. I was just looking myself in the mirror yesterday and I was just smirking and I was like, this bitch. Really? Like you were just dreaming about these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about these things. I live in like an obsolete area with a tiny apartment. My car is like 25 years old and I'm just like, bro, I feel like I don't know, Saul Goodman's driving around Dubai. But I'm just so proud. I just think that I found the key to love myself and accept me for who I am without the necessity of fitting in and didn't feel alone if not accepted. And that's a bliss. It's a blessing. Seriously.
100. Yeah, we were talking, you know, that 45-minute conversation off camera was literally about this topic. So we've gone deep on this and, you know, I really resonate with that. It's, like we were saying, something, you know, I think it's a constant evolution. You always have to go through this phase. But the goal, I think you work on yourself you get to a point that there will always be up and downs, but it's the foundation that you want.
Yeah.
You know, there's whatever goes on up here, fine. We can deal with that. Some good, some bad. But this needs to be solid. But it's also the hardest thing to make solid too.
Gosh.
So the fact that you feel that way and look, you built... People don't realize, and I was telling you this before, there was this thing, you have something that literally didn't exist. And you made this thing exist. Out of thin air, there was this nothing thing, and now this thing is here, and it exists. So be proud of yourself, bro. It's awesome. It's awesome. And I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And for my last question, Jessica, what is the message you'd like everyone to take home with them today?
Oh, should I keep watching? Where should I? I'm going to look at you because I feel more comfy, but... I'm just going to say, remember how bad you want it. Because there are moments that are very high and there are moments that are very down. And besides, you know, doing your best, you need to remember how bad do you want this thing in order of everything that are your priorities. And if it's on the top, then fight for it. But then if it doesn't belongs to the top, don't do it for the sake of being an entrepreneur because you heard it's cool. You have to be you have to love you, and you have to respect you and accept you as you are. And that's it.
And like you said, I think that's a beautiful message, first of all. And how badly do you want it comes in like that. You will be tested on that question on the bad days.
Oh, yeah.
The bad days is where you'll get the answer to that question. You know what I'm saying?
The bad days when I'm driving and I'm crying so hard with like random music and I'm just upset because I knew I could do better, but I didn't because I was blocking my own potential because I was scared. Being scared is human. It's okay, but it's what you find after being scared that makes everything work.
Exactly.
So just like seriously, it's not even about the test itself that it's happening right now. It's a full story. I've been killing myself my entire life and rebuilding my own self from my own ashes. It's how you rebuild yourself. So just create something special, create something unique that makes sense for you to fight every day. Because life is tough anyway. Besides being an entrepreneur, besides being a stay-at-home mother. So it's not like one or the other. It's tough.
Yeah, life is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just choose your heart and believe in what you're doing, because it's not really needed. I get people, and you can tell when you don't really believe in something. You're just cheating on yourself. So
yeah, you can, I had a guest once, he's like, you can lie to the whole world, but you can never truly lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Between you and yourself,
yeah.
you know.
When you're in your bed, like before sleeping, you know that you're not doing the things that you're supposed to. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's a whole process, isn't it? And we're all trying to get there. Jessica, thank you so much for coming on the show today, man.
Cool.
This has been so much fun. Just the chemistry from call one was fantastic.
Since day one.
Since day one, it's an area that you work in an area that I really had no idea about. So it's very interesting to me. And I think everything that's happened recently in the world and like geopolitics and whatever, this is a topic that is becoming even more talked about and relevant. So having this conversation at this time is very relevant to what's going on in the world. So thank you for giving me a masterclass on how to ship, how this works, who to look out for, what a platform looks like. I think anyone in the space or has an import-export business or anything that involves supply chain can take so much away from this. So thank you so much. And if people want to work with you, reach out with you, get in touch,
I'd love that.
Where can we find you?
Well, on my website. So currently I'm actually opening a positions for an internship. I need an assistant because I'm losing it. Yeah. So and sales. Someone is doing.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out to my platform. There is the emails there. There is the WhatsApp number directly connected to my phone 24/7. Not gonna leave any seconds free. So just let me know if you're interested in it, and I'm more than happy to be weirdo together.
And the website is GOODS2LOAD.com, right?
GOODS2LOAD.com. GOODS2LOAD.com.
We'll make sure to put LinkedIn and put it all in the show notes.
Yeah,
so don't worry. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you so
this
much
has been
for
awesome.
your time.
Of course.
Bye.
Guys, everyone listening, thank you so much. Please make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I hope it helps pod on all channels. And as always, guys, hope it helps. Peace.
So beautiful. I had so much fun.
Awesome.
That was really awesome.
And that's another episode in the bag, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, podcasting is like this massive jigsaw puzzle, and my job is to help you find that missing piece. So if you're someone who's looking to launch your own podcast or take their podcast to the next level, you can book a call today and let's get started. TikTok.